Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our free online lesson. I hope everyone is well, and I hope you can see my screen and hear my voice. Okay, let me just approve our participants. Okay, thank you for joining me. All right. So as per request previously, a while ago, one of our participants requests for Navisworks clash detection. So today we're going to do a brief topic on Navisworks clash detection, and our clash detection will be started in using Revit files. So from Revit, I'll bring into our Navisworks for the clash detection. Okay, let me just admit. Welcome everybody. Just join. Okay, let's just go through a little bit on what we're gonna do today. So this is a clash detection overview. The clash detective tool enables you to search through your total project model, identifying cross-discipline interference clashes earlier in the design process. This feature is available for Navisworks Manage users only. So as you know, Navisworks, we have Navisworks Freedom, Simulate, and also Manage. So Manage is the full version. So for the clash detection, you must have the Navisworks Manage. And then, using clash detective can help you to reduce the risk of human error during model inspection. Clash detective can be used as one of sanity check for completed design work, or it can be used as an ongoing audit check of the project. You can use clash detective to conduct clash between traditional 3D geometry, triangles, and laser scan point clouds. Okay, so basically, once you model, you want to bring it into Navisworks to clash, to check the clash within. You can do it within just your own model, or you can bring in other models and check the clash. Okay. So if you check within your model, so it can also make sure that you don't have any duplicates. Okay, so the workflow that we'll be going through today is we're going to open up our Revit model, and we're going to export it. Export as the Navisworks file, the NWC, and then we can also append other files that we want to bring in. Okay, and then we will set up the clash detection. We're going to look also at Switchback, and then also running the clash detection, and finally generating the clash report. Okay, so without further ado, I will jump first to our Revit. Okay, so here I have just a simple model just for this demo purposes. I want to keep it simple. So this Revit model, currently this is an architect model, but in here there is also an mechanical. I made a duplicate here. Just remove one already. So basically, I've just linked one model. It's a mechanical model for ducting. Let me just show you quickly. So I just changed this discipline to mechanical. Then only you can see it. Okay, it's just a simple ducting for a small building. Okay. Then I want to export it to Navisworks. Okay, but note that these are two separate files. I have the building as an architecture model, and the ducting is in another file that is currently being linked in this architect file. So before I export, I want to unlink this because we will bring it in separately as two files in Navisworks. Okay, so I'll just click here and look. Now we are left with just the architectural model. Okay, so the building envelope. Okay, then to export it to Navisworks, you can either go to File and then Export. Okay, here you have the NWC. This is NWC for Navisworks. Or if you have the plugin, you go to the add-ins. This plugin, you have to install it. This one is basically for exporting and also using the Switchback functionality. Okay. If you don't have that in your Revit, you can just go ahead at this link here, or you can just Google Navisworks NWC export utility. Okay. Just go Google that and find this link, and then you can download the installer according to your version. Okay. Then only you have it in your add-in tab in Revit, external tools, and click at the drop down. You have Navisworks 2023. In my case, I'm using the latest one, also Navisworks Switchback. Okay, so first I want to export, so I can also click here to export. Okay, the file type is NWC. Okay, I click on save. Okay, it will export. Now I go to, I have my Navisworks ready here. I just switch to my Navisworks. Then first I want to open that file. So I just click at the icon here, open, and then you'll be browsing your files. And then I click on the NWC that have been exported and just click open. Then you get your model in Navisworks, from Revit to Navisworks. Okay. Next, you want to bring in the other file, the mechanical file for our ducting. So to add in more files, you just head on to the home tab and you'll find a pen here. Okay, so just click at the pen and find your mechanical file. So here it is. Just click open. Okay, it will load for a while. It will take some time, but since I have a very simple model, so yeah, but it still takes some time to load. Okay, then it's basically in. So if you need more files, maybe you have the structural for the columns and everything, you can also bring it in using the same method. Maybe the electrical discipline, you want to bring it as well. So you can append not just two, you can append more than one file. But I'll keep it simple for our demo, just two files. Okay, next we're going to look at how to initiate our clash detection. Okay, so up here at our home tab, you can find clash detective. So you need to click here and it will prompt this window, the clash detective window. So the first step you need to do is you need to add tests. You can see here there are currently no clash tests defined. You need to define it first. So click on the add test. You'll be able to name the test to whatever you want. I'll just leave as it is as test one now. Okay, the next you have to select the files that you want to run the clash to. Okay, you have section A here and section B. It's like this versus this. Okay, section A versus section B. So I want to run a clash between the architecture model and versus the mechanical model. Okay, so I just click here and click here. All right. Maybe I'll walk you through this one. So we have basically three options here now. Standard, it will show you something like this. You can actually expand this. You can expand your files, and you will look here. There are your levels. Okay, and actually you can run. You can select individual levels and run the clash just only for that level. Okay, and as you expand it more, you can see these are your model categories you can select. So you can select just between maybe just for your walls, against your ductings. Okay, you can select. But if you just want to select the whole file, then you can just select the top. You don't have to expand it. Okay, I'll just keep it basic like here. Okay, and then for compact, if I change this compact, basically it don't allow you to expand more than level. Okay, you only restrict up to levels. That is for compact. And for properties, it categorize it depend your model following your properties. Okay, actually you have another one. By sets, you can do it by sets, but currently as I don't have the sets set in my model, so I don't have that option here. Okay, so if you interested in sets, that will be another topic because you have to create those sets first. But right now I'll just show you with the standard one. Okay, standard, and then I'll select the files, and then down here you have some selection types. Okay, usually if we are doing a test with 3D models, we just use surface, but there are other options where you can run, where it detects the lines. For example, like for ducting, there is a line in the middle, right? So you can also use that to detect, or points. For example, if you use point clouds, and lines, maybe if you use AutoCAD. Okay, but as we're doing with Revit, usually we'll just leave it to surfaces. Okay, and these two using selection, it's basically tied up to the creating sets. Okay, and then down here you have the type of clashing that you want to run. So you have hard conservative, clearance, and duplicate. So basically hard clash is, it runs between if a geometry clashes with a geometry. Okay, and then we have hard conservative, which is basically the same, but it uses a different kind of detection. Okay, maybe you can Google it up to understand it more. It's basically just a different way of detecting the 3D model. And then for clearance, if you can set the clearance in your model, so not just it physically clash with each other, but if they have a clearance space within the model, also when one item is in the clearance space, it also detect as a clash. And then duplicates, if a certain model duplicates itself more than once. Okay, but now I'll just leave it to hard. And link here, for link, you can actually link with your timeliner. Timeliner is also another feature in Navisworks, but I'll just leave it to none now. Okay, tolerance. For tolerance, you can set the tolerance. This thing is when you think that if a certain measurement that you can neglect, for example, here it's 0.01 meter, which is 10 mm. So if you think the clashes happen between that 10 mm is negligible, and you can work around on site, so you can specify the tolerance here. Okay. Now I'll just run the test. So, okay, before that, maybe I'll go to rules. Okay. Currently we are at select tab here. This is also important. Okay, for the rules, you can set some rules for your clash detection. Okay, you can read up here. It's quite self-explanatory, but I would usually do. I want this clash test to ignore if the clash happens within the same file, because I want to focus between the architecture file and also the mechanical file. Okay? I don't want. I want it to ignore the clash happens within the file itself. Okay, so that is one type of the rules that you can set. Okay. Okay, so I go back to select tab, and then I click on the run test. Okay, so I have now run the test. So currently I have about 17 clashes. Okay, so I can click on it, and your window will be highlighting that item. Okay, so I go to clash 2. It will highlight in the model. Okay, so on the right here, this will be the list of your clashes, and on the right you have the display settings. Okay, you can choose how it's being displayed, whether it's by highlighting with this color or using the status color. Okay, status, this one are the status. As we just create this clash detection, so it is a new test. So if you look up here, it's categorized under new. So it's red, and this one is using the status color. Okay, you can choose between those two. Okay, or you can also just click highlight all clashes to see all of the clashes, but that might not be feasible. Okay, and then here for isolation, you can hide other or dim other. Okay, and then this one for viewpoint simulation, you just basically leave as it is. Like this one is not very important. If you have the animate transition off, basically if you change to the other clashes, it doesn't have that slow animation, nice animation. Okay, if I turn it back and I click on a different clash, it will have that nice transition. Okay, so that is the first test that I ran. For example, I go back to my select, and I just want to I make some changes to my selection. Okay, I expand my architecture file here, and then I go to maybe level 0. So basically, I just want to run the clash between walls and the duct. Okay, I select my walls. Okay, and then the duct. Okay, because the in this mechanical file, there are only ducts inside, so I'll just select the whole thing. Okay, so I just leave like this. Then I rerun again this test. And now I only see 2 clashes between my walls and my duct. So these two places. Okay. So as you can see now, because I rerun the test, it's currently is not new. Okay, it's gone to the active. Okay, and it changes color, orange. Okay, so for example, the status, you can just click here, and if you want to change the status, you can do it simply from here as well. So maybe if you have reviewed this clash, you can just click here, and it will go to the reviewed column, under the review column, or if it's resolved, you can click here and it will move to the resolve part. Okay, so you will know that this particular clash has been resolved. Okay, so you'll be able to do that. Okay, down here we have the items where you can basically select the item, and this is where we usually use the switchback. Okay, so for example, I click on this wall. Okay, and then up here there's a small icon for switchback. You can click here. You can see my Revit icon is now blinking. Okay, so now it highlights the particular wall. Okay, so that is the switchback functionality, which you can use inside the clash detective window. Of course, you have it also outside, but I'm not going to discuss that now. Okay, next we go to the report. So we have these two clashes now, and I want to generate a report from this clash detection. So I click at the report tab, and then from here you can choose what are the contents for your report by just simply checking it on. Okay, if you don't need some of this, you can just check it off. Okay, these are the contents, and on the right here for the statuses. Okay, I just leave all, but I actually only have active status. Okay, and then under here we have the report format. Okay, there is XML, HTML, text, and as viewpoints. So I usually use HTML. XML will give you images of the clashes. Okay, it will generate the images. So maybe we'll just try that. We select the format, and then we click write report. Okay, and then it will browse your file browser. Okay, you save it, give it a name, and then save. Okay, let's open up that file. Yeah, so basically it gives you this kind of snapshots. Okay, it gives you images. Okay, let's try the other types. So I go back to my clash detective report and change this to HTML. Maybe I'll just straight away go to the tabular. So the difference is one is using tables. Okay. Then write report. You save it at your file. Okay, then I go to my file browser. Okay, this is basically the HTML. Okay, so this is the kind of HTML tabular report. Okay, so I think this is better than just having images. You have the date found, where's the distance of the clashes, the status, the clash name, okay, and then the item ID for maybe for your B modeler to use. Okay, And then what else we have? We also have text. That one will just simply give you text. That's not very, it's useful. Depends on your case, but HTML is usually the way you go. Okay, for viewpoints, it basically save it at your viewpoints here on the right of the screen here. You can see there is test one. You can expand. Okay, you can click on it, and it will basically show you where is the clash. Okay, but yeah, for the report format, you just go for HTML or HTML tabular. Okay, so I think that will be it. The basics of our clash detection from Revit to Navisworks, but basically it will be more or less the same method with the other file formats as well. Okay, if you have any question, you can just type in the chat. Okay, as I wait for your questions, maybe I'll bring you to our website, acadsystems.com. Okay, here, this is basically our website. This is our homepage. So as you scroll down here, if you're looking to buy a software, you can look at our promotion and news for latest promotions. Okay, you can check this out. Then as you scroll down, this is our free online lesson. So this is today's topic. And then you can browse the other topics that you probably interested in. For example, this font design, you can just click here and basically RSVP, and this will give you an email to remind you to join the webinar. Okay, and then you go down here, we also do physical training at our center. Okay, but this is a schedule. If you need more information on that, basically you can just set us. We have the live chat here. You can just click here. Okay, and then click on the live chat. Basically, you can type in whatever questions that you have, and our agents will respond to you accordingly. Okay, and then as you scroll down, we have our Facebook and YouTube icon here. I click on the YouTube icon, it will bring us to our YouTube channel. Okay, so basically all our free online lesson will later be uploaded in this our YouTube channel. So for the past few years, we already have quite an extensive topics in across of different softwares. So if you are interested, you can check this out and probably give us subscribe. Okay. Okay, so we have a question here from CCW. Can Revit 2022 export model to Navisworks 2020? Or it must use the same Revit and Navisworks same version? Yes, you have to use the same version. Okay, I'm doing clash between. Okay, I'm doing clash between ARC model and NR. I'm okay. I'm just reading the question right now. Okay, so you're doing. You want to know if it works with different versions. I will have to clarify you with that, but I can to use the switchback functionality. I know that it has to be the same version. but maybe if you use the traditional way, I think I have to check. I have to follow up with you on that. Okay, maybe you can drop down your email at the chat. I'll just check that out and send you an email. Okay, so basically my email, I'll just share my email. It's hakim@acadsystems.com. If you have any question, you can send it to my email, and I'll be able to understand more on your inquiry and give you, maybe I'll try to assist you on that. Okay. So I hope it's a fruitful session. We have just a quick overview on how to run the clash detection. Okay, so maybe if you're new to this, you get the idea, and it's not that hard, right, to start. Okay. So thank you for joining me today. I will see you again in the next session. Thank you very much. Bye bye.